Right. Welcome to the December 9th AnonCreds working group meeting. I'm sure it'll be the last one of the year. We are not going to be able to talk about a lot because we don't have key participants here, but we'll just cover over a couple of things. Reminder, we're recording, and so anyone wanting to can see the recording when it's posted. As well, the antitrust policy of the Linux Foundation is in effect, as is the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust Code of Conduct. The only real topic we've got is the proposed revocation scheme and then the status update on the revocation manager project. So we got some updates from Mike in a call with Victor and I last week. So learned about this need that we need both the GUID and the Delta on each of the updates for each revoked credential for the revocation manager to be able to operate. So we need to do that. So that means each revocation is a 71 characters long, which is getting longer when we're talking massive numbers, but massive numbers of credentials, but we'll see how that goes. And then we did I'll cut and paste that text of that email vector that I sent you that sort of outlines the overview of what we'd like a revocation manager to, or a witness server to do.
Yes.
As far as the project's going, we talked about a few things last week. Is that in place? Have you figured out sort of what the final thing will have, regardless of what we now want it to look like? Because we've changed a lot since we started.
Yep. Do you want me to share my screen? Can I share my screen?
Yeah, that'd be great. There you go.
Uh, yeah. You can see this, right?
Yeah.
So I pretty much set up the Windows server, but currently I don't have a way to test this. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
last time after you leave, me and Mike, we decided to land on this design. It's similar, but it's somewhat different.
Okay.
So it looked like something like this. So instead of having the delta, so the delta is essentially a deletion element and a coefficient element
Okay.
with a like with the a being 0.
Yeah.
So in our case, we were thinking of like a list of dictionaries. So this would be for one user,
Okay.
and then for another one, you just have like a separate element.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's going on here. Okay. And you guys talked about this cache thing last time.
Hold on. Hold on. When you added the next one, you didn't include the coefficient element.
All right, yeah.
Okay. I saw you take it away, so that threw me off.
My bad. Yeah, and last time you guys talked about this cache thing, and
Yeah.
this cache was updated like periodically in the Windows server
Yeah.
by calling this function like, which is just the FFI call for the update Windows function.
Yeah.
Right? I like this call was like updated every hour, or you guys can modify this if you guys need it to be
Yeah.
shorter.
Yeah.
Okay. And what this cache does is that okay, this is the FFI call, and currently I don't have a way to test this. I'll figure it out sometime
Yeah. Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
And basically what this post API call is that if the user ID is not in the cache, you update it by calling by looking into the URL path
Yeah.
and then store it in the witness cache. But if it is in the witness cache, you just return whatever is in the witness cache. Am I
Yeah.
getting that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's an error in the witness, you just return like an error response, an error response.
Yeah.
And like I think me and Mike also had three scenarios. So like the first one is that if the file has a timestamp that is like older than the witness, you just don't update. Otherwise, if it contains the user in the revocation list, you just return none.
Okay.
And the last case was that you actually need the update, which is trying to call the FFI call.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's pretty much working. But I do have another question for Mike. I guess I'll update it. I'll ask this in the Discord later.
Okay.
Yeah, but the email was very helpful. You actually, yeah, answered these two at least.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a matter of interest now. Scroll back up
Yep.
to the file, the files content. Yeah, the two element. So what is how big are those things?
I think it depends on, it's the same, right? This is 48 element, 48 bytes,
Yeah.
and so is this.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, but depends on how, I think the coefficient is a scalar, which is 48 bytes essentially. Let me find it for you. Uh, batch update coefficient. Yeah, it's 48 bytes. And so is the witness. So is this element. It's also 48 bytes.
And then they have to be
The
UU
32.
encoded.
Oh, this is but we can patch it to 48 if you want.
I prefer not. So anyway, that becomes 64 when it's UU encoded.
Yeah, so it's yeah.
So yeah, wow. So we're up to 130 bytes, 135, 140 bytes per revoked credential.
If you have to take into account this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much 140, yeah.
Yeah. 64 plus 64, 128 plus 16, 144. And if we put dashes between them to be more, okay. Becomes less practical.
Well, why is that? Is
Um,
too hard to store?
yeah, I had a spreadsheet that I did of, if there's 60,000 um 60,000 credentials, so 60,000 divided by 1024 times 100 and so it's 8 megabytes a day. I guess it's not impossible. Still a big chunk.
8 megabytes is still a big chunk.
Um, even if so one of the hopes was that a holder was going to be able to possibly do their own updates for very small places. But or for certain scenarios and that becomes less likely.
I see, I see.
Yeah. Oh well, okay. So how did we get to we needed three?
We need through what?
We needed the three data elements.
This was in uh This was in Mike's implementation. It takes
Yeah,
in three, but essentially we are not doing addition, so we only need the deletion and coefficients.
yeah, okay,
Which, yeah, and we
interesting.
do it. Yeah.
And why do we need the user GUID?
Otherwise we don't know who is being deleted.
But we don't care. Why
But
would
the
we care?
but we need to have this in order to correlate the witness to the user, right? So for example, a user made a request without passing in the user GUID. Then we have no way telling it. Like there is a way to update the witness after all, but we can't store it any. We can't.
I
We'll
mean,
not be able to store it.
yeah, the GUID is not bad anyway, but the holder is going to pass in their GUID
Yeah, yeah,
and their witness, and all we care about is that the witness get updated.
yes.
We don't really care. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're it's the absolute minimum that goes into the revocations file.
I see. I see.
We're trying to minimize the size of that file.
Uh,
And the only thing we're trying to do is the holder passes to the witness, or sorry, to the witness server. Here's my witness, update it.
I'm pretty much. I don't know. We can double check on Mike because
Yeah.
essentially, the good thing is not required for the file. I don't think it's required for the file.
Yeah.
I
So that's the question, I guess, to get to is, how big is that? Um, how big? Because last we went from we needed the GUID, now we needed the delta, now we need basically two deltas. So it's getting, or
no,
two things the size of a delta.
no. The last time you guys talked, this is essentially the delta.
Oh,
So
that is the delta. Okay. He
so
just
like
had the size wrong. He had said it
yeah,
was
yeah,
48 bytes, and it's actually 48 plus 32.
yeah.
Okay. So it's not as bad as I said, but still not great. So it's probably 102 bytes
Yeah, roughly around 100. Yeah.
plus two. Yeah. So give or take 120. Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing to determine is to make sure that the GUID is needed
Yes, we definitely have to ask about.
in the revocations file.
Right. I mean, it like the update will still work without the GUID, but it's just we are not able to do this check. I mean, we can still do it by just updating the witness.
Yeah, all we need to do is update the witness. We don't need to tell them yours has been revoked or whatever. We just need to say, here's your updated witness.
But wait, what if the witness is being revoked? So we just don't update it?
Well, no, we wouldn't know. That's what I mean, is if the revocations file only contained the delta, all the
Okay.
deltas, then The witness server would say, they would get the current timestamp and current witness, and they would and when the updates came, they would give the latest timestamp and the witness, and they wouldn't know whether it was revoked or not in between, but they don't care. And the holder would just not be able to construct a valid proof, which is
Yeah.
fine. If they couldn't construct a valid proof, they would say, well, mine's revoked. So there you go.
All
So,
right.
so they don't need to know that the GUID, if we can avoid having the GUID, that would help.
Right. Yeah.
Let me think. That would become, yeah. Yeah, all of that would help anyway. So
Yeah, I have like better, more information is better.
no, less information in the file, less file size. The smaller the file, the better.
Wait, why would you want a small file size? Where are you going to store it? It's in another blockchain, like public ledger.
No, not, I mean, even if it's in a file, the smaller the better, because it leaves the option of the holder being able to do an update on their own if they wanted to.
So I mean, like they won't get penalized for like time, like the time when they join.
So here's the scenario. So the thing we're trying to avoid is that anyone knows when the holder sends in a presentation for a particular credential.
Mm-hmm.
The 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 thing we don't want to know is when does a holder use a particular credential? When does it present it,
Yeah.
and so on. So what I'm envisioning with something like this, I start up my wallet app, and I send a message to my witness server, say, hey, give me all my updates.
Mm-hmm.
And they get all their updates. And then if they then at some point later go to do a presentation, or they just do it in the background, like once a day or once every week, they get their updates.
Mm-hmm.
Independent of when they actually present a credential.
Yeah, I see.
Then they need to present a credential. Well, they can download um, a file, like a portion of the revocation manager file, the revocation file, and do their own update for just from whenever they last updated the server to now. And then they present it. So the witness server doesn't know, can't correlate when they come to get their data with when they're using it.
Yep.
That's sort of I mean, it may be too obscure, but that's one of the things I've been thinking about. So that's why, having that size of that file and having it easy to download is helpful.
Well, so I don't get the relation between like this like unlinkable and the file.
Yeah, unlinkability is one of the things of unlinkability is not knowing when you're using a particular credential, of others not knowing it, whether it be the issuer or the wallet server, the witness server. You're just trying to avoid others knowing when you're using various credentials. That's part of the unlinkability.
Yeah, but how's that to do with this revocation file? So the size of the revocation file.
Um, if the size is too big, there's no way a mobile
Oh,
agent can ever use any part of it.
I see. Yeah, I see.
That's the kicker. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. So that's why I'm saying it's not. It would be nice to have it minimized so you know as
Yeah,
small
yeah,
as can be, but it's not absolutely crucial. So I just want to understand why the GUID is needed. I get why the delta is needed because that's what you're actually using to update the witness. But
yeah,
if the GUID is just there to tell to allow the witness server, hey, your credential's been revoked, we don't really care about that because the holder can figure that out themselves.
yeah,
They try
right.
to construct a proof and it doesn't work. They can't construct a proof. So they don't need the witness server to tell them. So if we're adding that data just for that one feature, we don't care.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
All right. Um, as far as wrapping things up,
Hmm.
um, you're working with Mike on that of how to wrap up and how we can get this repo moved over, because that's the other part of this. We got to get that wrapped up.
Sorry, you mean I'll have to I'll talk to Mike about the rest of like this little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
and then to move this over.
We want to move the repo from your into Hyperledger and OnCreds.
Okay,
And so um, we need to do a transfer of the repository over into an OnCreds, like the GitHub organization, the Hyperledger GitHub organization.
okay.
So, getting it cleaned up
Yeah, yeah, I'll
and
have
with
to.
enough, just enough documentation that we can move it over and continue work.
Uh, do you guys have a guideline for writing documentations or
No.
oh? Okay.
I mean, I do a lot of it. I do some of
But
it. Well, not a lot of it. I do a lot of documentation. There's not any specific. You just want to have enough to say, okay, here's what the thing does, and here's how you can run it. And we've got a few issues to say, here's what we want to do next with it. That's really all you need.
I currently have this. Will this
Yeah.
be sufficient?
Yeah, we can extend that out easily enough. Probably take that HackMD. Which HackMD is that?
This was the one you sent us.
Yeah,
Public one.
yeah. So we might put that into the repo as a separate document instead of the HackMD,
Okay.
which is easy enough. I mean, it's all marked down, so just have it as a separate document and move it and link it in. So keep the same link. It should have a link to the ALLOSAUR paper.
Okay. Let me just add also. Mhm. Okay.
If you don't have that, I've got that very handy.
Yeah, I'll add this later.
Yeah,
And yeah, okay. And I have the Docker file for both of them.
yeah. So
Okay.
pointing out um anyway, yeah. That's the type of thing you need to do that we need to do though. But that can be done after we move it. We do have to get it moved. And it's got to have enough documentation just so somebody else can start it and run things. So Mike or I can be the guinea pig on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sure. So I guess I'll let you know once I've cleaned up everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we'll get together again this week because we definitely need Mike here.
Yeah. Oh, you want a meeting this week?
What's that?
You still want a meeting this week?
I'd like to. If do you have time?
Yeah, I do, but not next
Okay.
week.
Yeah, let's get something in the books. I'll talk to. We'll connect on Discord to find a time for you and I and Mike to get together and figure out the wrap up.
Yep, of course.
Sounds good. Good enough for today.
Yep.
All right.
Sure.
Well, you have a good Monday.
Oh, you too.
All right. Take care, Victor. See ya.
Yeah.